For those of you that don't know, if you have not seen it already, the ladies of The View decided to keep going with their rhetoric because, you know, they've been doubling down, even though they're starting to get some pushback on their show. They've literally been doubling down on the Trump hate and, you know, just going in on all of his picks, right? But regardless, it seems to be a new day because Sonny Hostin was sitting up there going all the way in on Matt Gaetz. And this is what she said.
How could you nominate someone with allegations of child trafficking trafficking across state lines and having sex with a 17-year-old? My understanding further on in the interview, they discussed the fact that once he finds out that she's 17, he stops having sex with her.
Sonny, you have a legal note.
I do have a legal note. Thank you, Whoopi. Matt Gaetz has long denied all allegations, calling the claims, quote, invented, and saying in a statement to ABC News that this false smear following a 3-year criminal investigation should be viewed with great skepticism. The DOJ investigation was closed with no charges being brought.
We'll be right back.
Now, this right here is what you call journalistic accountability, right? Let me see if I can pull up a picture of Sonny's face when she had to read it. Let's see. Did they have any photos of her? Well, if you get the opportunity, all you gotta do is go over and check out the video. It's being posted everywhere, right? It's being posted everywhere. So this is what I imagine happened, right? And again, this is another one of these examples that I was talking about, the changing of the guard or the turning of the tide, right? So for some reason, this situation seems different now, right? So now this is a situation that is unlike 2016, because before, if you notice, they were able to get on the news and pretty much say whatever they felt like saying, whenever they felt like saying it, right? They was able to just go ham with it, right? So when she sat up there and said what she said, right? She said it as if it was something that he was convicted of, which we all know, if someone accuses you of doing something that is illegal and you haven't been convicted of it and you haven't even been arrested of it, that's defamation. Like they can't sit up on the news and talk about you in a light as it pertains to illegal activity if you've never been found guilty of those things, right? Because they set themselves up for a lawsuit. So when she said what she said about Matt Gaetz, I would imagine somebody on the legal team at ABC was like, why did she say that? Like, they probably made a quick note and during the break slid that note to her and said, hey, I need you to read this out loud. Now, the interesting thing about it, if you go back and you look at the video and you look at how she's trying to contain her anger, having to read the facts, that more than anything speaks volumes. So you're frustrated and even Whoopi was angry. Even Whoopi was angry. It's like, Sonny, you have a legal note. She didn't have to say legal note. She could have just said note. Sonny, you have a legal note. She's like, yes, I do. And then she's sitting there reading like, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Steven. He said channel support. Appreciate you. So she's sitting there reading it, upset that she has to, like, angry that she has to show some journalistic integrity. That right there shows you just how long they've been getting away with just saying anything. You feel me? Shout out to Michelle. Michelle said, I saw it. She looked like that kid acting up in school, and his parents bring them to school and make them apologize in front of everybody. Embarrassing. Yep.
Embarrassing.
Yeah. So like, we're basically looking at Sonny having to tell the truth. Because, like, let's be real, Sonny, we know what you were doing. It's the same thing that y'all always do. Somebody that you don't like that is, you know, in politics, they get accused of something, and then you sit on the news and you talk about the accusations as if they are accurate, as if they have been proven to be fact, because you know the people watching are going to hear it, and because you're on the news saying it, not news, but because you're on that talk show saying it, they're going to take it as the truth. And the real reason why you're upset is because you having to read that message after you said all of that, it makes you look crazy. I guarantee you she was fuming after that show was over. After they got done recording that show, I guarantee you. Said, I thought she was an attorney. Yeah, but you got to think. She's been getting away with it for so long that she's just been like, they just been running wild with it. Because they've been getting away with it for so long. You feel what I'm saying? But anybody watching that show that, you know, has any level of intelligence, the moment that she reads that message, you're supposed to sit back like, how many other times has she said something that wasn't accurate? How many other times has she said something that, because look, and this is proof of something else too. This is proof that now that Donald Trump has been elected and he started picking his picks or whatever, is just like Donald Trump's lawyer said about Letitia James. He said, we're not going to be playing this time. We're not going to be playing this time. So, and then on top of that, I could be wrong, but I think, let me look it up real quick. Let me see. Yeah, so Donald Trump, it says Donald Trump picks Brandon Carr to lead federal Communications Commission. President-elect Donald Trump announced Sunday that he has selected Brandon Carr, a Republican on the Federal Communications Commission, who wrote a chapter on the regulatory agency in the Conservative Project 2025 playbook, to be the FCC's chairman. Carr argued in the Project 2020. See, this is NBC News trying to throw dirt on his name. So basically, every pick that Donald Trump uses, right? Every pick that Donald Trump has, they try to throw some kind of dirt on him, right? Shout out to Noodles. He said news anchors are a thing of the past, AM. Now we have commentators, and opinions are not slander under the law. I think you are left-handed. I think you're, example, I think you're left-handed. Yeah, but guess what? You can have as many opinions as you want on television. There's certain stuff you cannot say without opening yourself up to a lawsuit. So, I mean, people can play that game if they want to. You feel what I'm saying? Ask Tasha K about that. So let's see. Carr argued in Project 2025 chapter that the agency, which is tasked with regulating radio, television, and cable communications, should prioritize reining in big tech, promoting national security, unleashing economic prosperity, and ensuring FCC accountability and good governance. Trump said in a statement that Carr is a warrior for free speech and has fought against the regulatory lawfare that has stifled Americans' freedoms and held back our economy. He will end the regulatory onslaught that has been crippling America's job creations and innovations to ensure that the FCC delivers for rural America. Let's see. Carr, who is the top Republican on the commission, thanked Trump in a post to X, saying he is humbled and honored to serve as chairman of the FCC. Now we get to work. Carr did not immediately respond to a request for further comment. In his chapter, Carr suggested TikTok should be banned if it fails to disentangle from its China-based parent company, an issue on which Trump held conflicting views before he joined the app himself this year. He also called for working with Congress to reform Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act of 1996, which gives social media companies a level of immunity for the content on their platforms and allows them to moderate certain objectionable content in good faith. Shout out to Noodles. He says, so are you left-handed? See, I just created a narrative that you need to address for $15. That is legacy media. True, but let me ask you guys this question. What is the FCC in charge of? About the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission regulates interstate and international communications by radio, television, wire, satellite, and cable in all 50 states, the District of Columbia, and U.S. territories. I'm going to read it again. The Federal Communications Commission regulates interstate and international communications by radio, television, wire, satellite, and cable in all 50 states, the District of Columbia, and U.S. territories. So, if you're on regular television, like for instance, let's say The View for argument's sake, right? Let's say you're on The View. You're having a conversation on The View, right? You can't say the F word on The View. If you do, you'll get fined. Guess who you get fined by? Somebody put it in the chat room. Who do you get fined by? Yo, shout out to Tavarius for doubling up. Appreciate you, broski.
Here we go again. $100 boss up. Going down. Stack up and match up.
That's right, the FCC. If you get on radio, right, and you start saying a bunch of wild stuff, you get fined by the FCC, right? So, when you think about the fact that Donald Trump is now president-elect, that Donald Trump is going to be picking Brandon Carr. I think that's his name. Let me make sure. Yeah, Brandon Carr. The fact that Donald Trump is going to be picking Brandon Carr to be the head of the Federal Communications Commission. Matt Gaetz is being picked to be AG, right? When you've got all of these things going on, don't you think that ABC, the executives at ABC, they're like, maybe we might want to clean this up just in case. In other words, just in case Trump's picks go through. Because if we don't clean it up, we're going to be in a world of, plus, not to mention, if y'all remember, I don't know how true it is because I haven't looked into it. Y'all saw the story with Whoopi Goldberg and that pastries place in Staten Island, right? Did y'all see that story? Where where Whoopi Goldberg basically got on TV and said that they didn't want to fulfill her order because she, they probably didn't like her politics. But keep in mind, when she was on The View, she didn't say the name of the company. And the reason why she didn't say the name of the company, because there was more to the story than that. She was just, trying to get attention and try to make it seem like somebody's against her because of her politics or whatever. So from what I understand, they're suing her. Did y'all hear that too? I don't know how true it is. I haven't confirmed whether or not she's actually being sued, but I've heard numerous people on social media saying that that particular company is suing her. Did y'all hear that too? Okay, so y'all did confirm it. Yeah, so with Whoopi being sued, right? And then and I would imagine that because she said it on ABC, if they really wanted to pursue it, they could sue ABC as well. So it's not surprising that when Sonny sits up there and says this about Matt Gaetz, and let's be real about it, Matt Gaetz he's like a dog with a bone. Like once you get on Matt Gaetz' bad side, he's never gonna forget it. He's never going to forget it. So you better believe if she was allowed to just sit up there and say that, you better believe Matt Gaetz would have been hitting them with a lawsuit. So then on top of that, don't forget, you got Donald Trump suing CBS for $10 billion. I don't know how that's going. I don't know if he's going to continue pursuing that. But I remember right before he got elected, he was suing CBS for $10 billion. So I think we're getting to the point in America where this thing that they've been doing on mainstream media, they're not gonna be able to keep doing it. Not without some consequences, right? So you take all of that, and it makes perfect sense why Sunny Hostin was forced, well, let's be real, because she didn't decide to read that. They made her read it, was forced to read that. Now, here's the thing. I think it's wonderful. And the reason why is because moving forward, it should cause them to be more accurate in their rhetoric out of fear that they're going to have another one of those embarrassing moments where they got to sit up there and read that message like that. That's what I think, in my personal opinion. I think that now they might try to be a little more careful about what they're saying. You feel me? If not, but as far as like doing that for the sake of saving that show and saving mainstream media, I think it's too little too late. I think it's, too little too late, right? They might try to clean it up a little bit, but I don't think it's going to help. Shout out to Jerome. He said the View is starting to become a liability for ABC. Yeah, facts. The moment it becomes a financial liability, they're going to do one of two things. They're going to get new people on that show, or they're going to get rid of that show. I mean, look at what's going on with Comcast and MSNBC. Comcast is getting rid of a lot of those properties, auctioning them off. You feel me? So I'm telling you, and it's about time. It should have been happened. It should have been happened, because here's the crazy thing. You got all of these world leaders that are doing God knows what. That's really what, like, when I was coming up, the reporters, they didn't spend all of their time trying to make our president and our congressmen and our senators, they didn't spend all of their time trying to make Americans look bad. They used to report on what world leaders were doing, what was going on in the rest of the world, and all of that. And the funny thing about it is they've been spending so much time focused on Donald Trump that they've just been ignoring other stuff that's been going on. Like, Trump has been but see, now, watch, you're going to see it change now. You're going to see it change now. And the reason why I say that Noodle says, see how you moved on? I just created a baseless narrative. I can now say you refuse to address and not be considered as slander. I'm a fan, but legacy media is operating on a sinister level. Yeah, but guess what? It doesn't really matter. And the reason why it doesn't matter is because that model is no longer profitable. That's why that does, like, that little goofy, I know the game. Like, you don't have to explain to me the game they're playing. I know the game they're playing. But the only reason they've played it for so long is because it was profitable. It was profitable because when they used to talk about, first, this is how it started. when Donald Trump ran for office in 2016, it was looked at like some sort of anomaly. And the things that Donald Trump would say made him the subject of attention. So every media outlet, every show that covered Donald Trump was getting high ratings. And when they started talking trash about Donald Trump, it got even higher ratings. And I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but what's happened is the American public, because of two things. One, because Joe Biden was not the change that everybody was expecting. See, they tricked the American public by using the discord and the problems that came with the pandemic. They tried to make it seem like the pandemic was Trump's fault. So when Joe Biden came in, all of those people that voted for Joe Biden, they were expecting Joe Biden to fix things. Oh, he's this elder statesman and he's been in politics forever and he was Barack Obama's vice president and blah, 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 right? Only problem was he got in office and he sucked as a president. And it made things worse for the American public. So guess what? Because I would argue this. If Joe Biden had did a good job as president, a lot of the American public wouldn't be as frustrated as they are with the media. See, what's happened to the media right now was the perfect storm. Okay? It was a combination of the media constantly focusing on negative coverage of Trump, but ignoring the goofy things that Joe Biden was doing that was affecting the American public. So what happened is that was the catalyst for the American public getting sick of hearing all of the Trump bashing. Because the average American is looking at it like, yo, y'all keep talking about Trump. Why y'all ignoring this goofy stuff that Joe Biden is doing? Look at the cost of eggs. Look at the cost of gas. Look at the cost of this, the cost of that. Like, bruh, you got people at the regular level, average, everyday, working class people that was going through it. You feel me? And are still going through it to a degree. And the mainstream media just ignored it. You got these people in these sanctuary cities that can see with their... Look, it doesn't matter how much the media gets on television and says Donald Trump is lying about the migrants and the whole thing with the pets. They're lying to you. The Republicans are lying to you about the Venezuelans taking over those apartment complexes. You can say that all you want, media. The only problem is there are people that live there that see what's going on. And it's like one of them situations where it's like, who am I supposed to believe? You or my lying eyes? Like, they saw it. They witnessed it. They live in those cities where the cities are being flooded with migrants. They go to those grocery stores where they look at the price of food compared to what it was when Donald Trump was in office. They go to the gas station. They see how much the gas costs compared to when Donald Trump was in office. So this perfect storm created an environment that resulted in Trump's landslide victory. So guess what? Moving forward, you're not going to be able to sit on the news all day, every day and bash Trump and the Republicans because no one wants to hear it. Nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants to hear it. The American public is more concerned with the change, right? They're more concerned with the change that Donald Trump is promising that he's going to bring. That's what they care about. They don't care about your rhetoric, and that should be obvious because If they cared, they would still be watching. The reason why your ratings are plummeting is because they don't care. We 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 don't care. Like we're sick and tired of the rigmarole. We're sick and tired of the song and dance. We're tired of it. Yeah, they sat back and literally ignored everything that every questionable thing that Joe Biden did, they ignored it. And what makes it worse is they not only ignored all of the questionable things that Biden did, they also praised him as if he was doing everything right. You know what bugged me out? What bugged me out, and this is when I just thought to myself, it's over. It's done. Do y'all remember that State of the Union address he gave where he was standing there like Palpatine and it was dark where he was at, and behind him there were two Marines standing there and there were red lights back there? Did y'all remember that? I'm sitting there looking at it like, yo, this is something straight out of Star Wars. Now, if Trump had did something like that, they would have called him a dictator. They would have called him everything under the sun. But for the entire time that and then you got people up here that want to argue with me about what happened to the economy, right? Dub Will said mainstream media is dead and all this noise is just the death rattle. Facts. You had all of these people that want to argue with me about, and I'm just sitting there listening to them like, are you really trying to argue that Joe Biden had a good administration? Do y'all understand? They were arguing this with me. They were arguing this with me. Basically saying that Joe Biden had a good administration, that we had a good economy under Joe Biden, that everything was cool, and that Joe Biden is respected by world leaders across the world. And I'm like, what? How can you look at the economy? And I tried to explain to him, I said, look, man, this dude signed the most executive order in the first 100 days. Got to stipulate that. He may not have signed the most executive orders of any president, but he signed the most executive orders in the first 100 days. And most of those executive orders was to undo a lot of the things that Trump put in place. Why? Out of spite. Out of spite. Do you realize he changed some of the things that Trump did and had nothing to replace it? That's why we had that issue at the border. And while I said, AM, this election is playing out like how Star Wars, for real, the book. Appreciate you, fam. Like he literally did it just out of spite. And took like basically what was like, look, let me tell you something. With everything that happened with the pandemic, right? if Donald Trump hadn't been the president that he was, that whole situation would have been way worse. That situation would have been way worse. Like, for real. Like, Donald Trump literally saved the day by doing some of the things that he did. Shout out to Jerome. He said in 2020, the Democrats tried to pull off their version of Order 66, but it didn't work. Yeah. Yeah. So, in my humble opinion, I think that this go round is going to be a little bit different as far as the media is concerned. And it's going to be really interesting to see how the left, as far as the Democrats and the leftist politicians, I'm really interested to see how well they're going to fare against the Republicans when they don't have the media machine backing them to the full throttle gear that they usually back them up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm really interested to see just how well the left-leaning politicians and I'm really willing to see what's going to happen now that you don't have the media doing what they used to do. Because now they got to be more cautious. Now they got to be more cautious. For one, you got Trump picking the new head of the FCC. You got Matt Gaetz possibly ending up as Attorney General. But even more than that, you have these networks losing money. And you better believe, if you think for 1 second, if those executives at those networks haven't sat back and read the room, because you got to think, a lot of them have shareholders to answer to. You feel me? So if they sit back and they look and they notice the tide is changing, you feel me? If they sit back and they notice, like, wow, look at all of these people that voted for Trump. Oh, what'd you say? We're losing ratings? Well, why is that? What's going on? I know why. The American people don't hate Donald Trump. And so because the American people don't hate Donald Trump the way you think they do, they don't want to sit back and watch as you go on a Donald Trump tirade every single day. And if you sit back and look at the media, as hypocritical as they are, because you look at somebody like Joe Scarborough and Mika, they are true hypocrites, but they're not stupid. Okay? Because I'm gonna tell you what they're doing to you guys on the left, and you don't even realize it. They're giving you the slow fade. Yeah. What they're doing is they're slowly pulling away from the left because they see the writing on the wall. Now you go look on The View, you've got a couple of young ladies up there that are more moderate to right leaning. And if you notice, they're doing the same thing. They're speaking up more. Why? Because strategically, they're like, okay, you know what? People don't want to hear Whoopi and Sonny and whatever the other chick's name, the Mexican chick. They don't want to hear them constantly going in on Trump. So you know what? I'm going to start speaking up for the right. I'm going to start speaking up for the conservatives. Okay? What you're going to start noticing You even see that with watch this. I'm gonna give you a prime example of what I'm talking about. Where is it at? Watch this right here.
Brother,
you should not be taking cheap shots at me.
Who won?
You make your
You
point,
live
make your
in
point,
a total
don't make it
world of
personal.
denial.
I read your own followers' comments, and they all trashed you, every one of them, and supported me. So
Yeah,
quiet with
right.
your personal
yeah,
attacks.
come find out again.
Make whatever
Okay.
point you want.
Yeah.
Don't make it
You
personal.
don't know anything. You don't know
You
anything.
attacked me
You
personally.
You're so deluded.
Oh, right. I've only been a
Can I
professor
just-
for 51 years.
On this program,
published
I've never been
13
able
books.
to finish a
How
thought.
many books have you published? No, because you're personally
Yeah.
attacking me again. Say whatever you want, but I'm not going to
Okay,
stand
but
for
brother,
personal
you got it
attacks.
wrong.
So, and look, I'm gonna keep it real for you. I'm gonna keep it real with you, right? So, this is a prime example of what I'm talking about, right? So Clifford right here is a relic of the past. Excuse me, adult Clifford, right? Now some of y'all gonna be like, Clifford who? What do you mean Clifford? That's not his name. Actually, I don't know if you guys ever saw a movie back in the 1990s with Martin Short. There was a movie in the 1990s with Martin Short called Clifford, right? And where Martin Short plays this little kid, right? And this guy looks like, hold on 1 second. This guy actually looks like the adult version of Clifford. You feel me? This is the movie. This is the movie right here. Homeboy looks like the adult version of Clifford. Oh my goodness. Look, now when y'all see him now, you're not going to be able to unsee it. You're not going to be able to unsee it, I promise you. But he's one of these guys that is going to be stuck in the past. And he's going to double down, he's going to double and triple down, and let's be real, he's going to pay for it. He's going to double and triple down, and he's going to pay for it. Yo, shout out to Cornelius. He said when they gave Sonny that note to read, I thought of that scene in Pulp Fiction. It's where Marcellus told Bruce Willis later on in the fight, you will feel a slight sting. That's your pride effing you up. F your pride. Hold on. Let me get this one for Noodles real quick. Shout out to Noodles. He said, facts. I just thought this was a topic that needed to be elaborated on. Keep cooking, Chef. Appreciate you, bro.
$50 boss up. Stack up and match up.
So this guy, you know, he prides himself on being able to predict elections, right? He was horribly wrong about this election. But this is what he's known for. He's known for predicting elections, right? But your boy, and I never can pronounce his name right, so I'm not gonna try to butcher his name or whatever. He's always on the Young Turks. He's not stupid, because he's starting to pull away from the left. His female co-host, she already was pulling away. I feel like his female co-host saw the writing on the wall before the election, because she started pulling away before him. You feel me? So you got the Young Turks starting to pull away. You got women on The View starting to pull away from the left, right? You got Morning Joe pulling away. You got and I'm just naming a couple of people. There are more people that are pulling away, right? Like, look at this.
Wrong.
Say
You were
whatever you want.
preposterously and stupidly wrong. So, okay, all right. Can I just
Don't
finish
call
a
me
goddamn thought
stupid.
ever on this show?
No, not if you're
Okay,
personally.
well,
I
you proved
admitted
it.
I was wrong. I don't need you to call me stupid.
Okay.
I'll just say it's
What kind
great
of
to see
nonsense
you
is that?
Democrats
Yeah, I
all
know.
getting
Who
along
taught
so
you
well.
manners?
It's lovely to
You
see a
taught me.
Can I
post-election
finish a
harmony as you all
goddamn
come
point?
together
We're
again.
just
Hey,
one
Alan,
right now.
shh. Hey, Alan, you deserve a tall glass of shut-up juice, so can you just shut up for a second and let someone who knows what
Not
they're
if
doing...
you're
so
gonna
right,
personally
Pierce.
attack
You're
me.
so right.
So-
We're so
Make any
unified right
point
now.
you
Okay,
want.
so-
I will not sit here and stand
So-
for personal attacks, for blasphemy against me. You don't need to
Blasphemy?
do that. You don't boost your
Blasphemy
ego
against you?
by
Who the hell are
attacking
you?
me
Are you
like that.
Jesus
Just
Christ,
make
you
your point.
loser? Okay,
Make your points.
can I just give the correct answer?
Is it, who are you supposed to be, Jesus Christ? Hold on, let me see if I can find Clifford. I got to show y'all this. Because Martin Short is one of my favorite comedians back in the day. Watch this.
I am now out on bail. Are you listening to me? Are you?
Yes, I am.
I have a criminal record. But you know what you're gonna have?
What?
You're gonna have a one-way ticket back to your parents.
Don't send me back to my parents. They hate me.
Not as much as I do. Oh, stop with the fake tears.
I'm not thinking. I am sorry. I'll admit anything. Just don't send me back to my parents. I'll even tell Miss Sarah that I was the one who put the lipstick in your pocket, which I didn't. It was her father who did it. He wanted to embarrass you. He said that you were a simple-minded moron.
Sarah's father called me a moron?
Simple-minded moron.
Like, you're not going to be able to unsee it now, bro. You're not going to be able to unsee it. He looks like the adult version of Clifford. I swear, bruh. Said that's Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble. Oh my, bruh. Hold on.
I think it was the right thing to do, and I've heard a lot of.
Hold on. We got to play it again. We got to play it again. He said Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble.
Brother,
You should not be
who
taking
won?
cheap
Who
shots
won?
at me.
Who
You
won?
wanna make your
You
point,
live
make your
in a
point.
total...
Holy crap. That is Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble. Oh my God. Yo, that is hilarious.
Don't make it
World of
personal.
denial.
I read your own followers' comments, and they all trashed you, every one of them, and supported me.
Oh, Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble. Oh, that's brutal. That's brutal. But it's not just them. Jon Stewart. You got Jon Stewart calling out the left. You got Bill Maher calling out the left. Like, yo, a lot of these lefties or these individuals that are more moderate but left adjacent, because you have some individuals that they masquerade as moderates, but they're really lefties, and the reason why they can't really stomach the left completely is because they're old school liberals, right? You look at somebody like Jon Stewart. He's an old school liberal. You look at somebody like Bill Maher. He's an old school liberal. So because they're old school liberals, the way the climate is today, the way the world is today, you'll hear them say stuff that is more moderate than left-leaning, but then they'll say something else and you'll be like, oh, that's definitely a leftist, right? But you see them even calling out the left because they're not crazy. They realize that as long as the left continues to be that far left, they're never going to be able to get the support of the average everyday working person. They know this. Bill Maher isn't stupid. He knows this, right? Jon Stewart knows this. And these are not stupid guys. You know what I'm saying? They're not rocket scientists, but they're not stupid guys. They can read the room. You feel me? And they see it. They're like, holy crap, like the tide is turning. And you know what? It's about time. It's about time. How long has the media been liberal? Because that's the one thing I've been sitting back wondering. When in the hell do conservatives get their turn? When? Like, how long has the freaking left controlled the media? Exactly, Christopher, for too damn long. For too long. It's ridiculous. But I feel like the tide is turning. I feel like there's a shift. And I feel like we're looking at the shift. Because as far as I can tell, the media has been liberal for the majority of my life. And I would certainly be happy as hell if moving forward, it switches to conservative. I would be, oh my God, I'd be ecstatic. I would be ecstatic. But I honestly think it doesn't have any choice. Because let's be real, one thing is for certain. One thing is for certain. Lefties dominate mainstream media. Lefties dominate Hollywood. Lefties dominate these blue cities, right? Not in number, but just position. Like the fact that they have key positions, right? But let me ask you guys this question. Who do you think dominates the internet? Lefties or conservatives? Y'all think it's the left. See, you're falling, any of you that think it's the left, you're falling for the same trick. You have a lot of lefties that are in high positions as far as as far as the platforms. But when we're talking about sheer numbers, as far as voices, it's the conservatives. Because I guarantee you right now, if you were to start naming podcasts, right? If you were to start naming podcasts, like some of the biggest podcasts you can think of, most of them are going to be moderate to conservative. You're not going to have a lot of massive lefty podcasts, like, especially when you got Destiny on the internet crashing out in real time. Have y'all seen him lately? Have y'all seen him lately? I was sitting back watching him crash out, and I'm like, wow, so this is the guy that y'all want to pretend beat me in a debate? This guy? Y'all see him crashing out. Like, he's losing it. He's losing it. And I'll tell you something else, too, that I noticed. And you guys tell me, right? You said, show us. Hold on for a second. Let me see if I got the clip. I think I saved it. Where's the clip of him crashing out? He wants to censor certain people. He wants to censor certain people. Like, he literally said, look, watch this. Watch this, y'all.
Even a good conversation that we could have about a particular issue is immediately hijacked by the conspiratorial nonsense from the other side. So now we don't even get to debate the policy position.
Do you think that that is a product of the right wing or a product of the right wing, like on Twitter? Online?
It's an intentional product of the entirety of the right wing. They can't fight on policy because they've had none since at least 2016. So they have to make it about either perceived reality or about bullshit culture issues or about conspiracy paranoia. They can't possibly fight on policy because what the policy would they even argue for?
He's literally describing the left. He's lost his mind. Destiny, you've lost your mind, bro. There was one point where I actually respected your intelligence. You've lost your mind, bro. Like, real talk. You have lost it, fam.
For tax cuts? Like, what is the policy of the right? Now they're trying to say, well, we were actually, we like pre-existing conditions from the Affordable Care Act. No, you didn't. The first thing Donald Trump did when he came into office was he tried to completely and totally get rid of it. It was only McCain's vote that stopped it. And then they went to the Supreme Court to try to get rid of it. And now he's trying to say, well, Republicans like that the whole...
And by the way, I'm going to tell you something else, Destiny. There's something very different about you from the first time I saw you to right now. Most people ain't going to catch it. Most people ain't going to catch it. But I caught it. And the reason why I caught it is because I'm from the streets. And all I'm going to say is this, Destiny. I'm going to say this, bro. Go get help. That's what I'm going to say. Go get help. I don't know what you got going on. I don't know when you started. I don't really care. All I'm going to say is go get help. Because the way your jaw is moving while you're talking, the whole time, now I notice whenever you talk, it's not normal for somebody's mouth to do like this whenever they're talking. Everybody ain't gonna catch it. Everybody ain't gonna catch it. But that's not normal, bro. That's not normal. And watching you crash out on the internet, it's not good, bro. It's not good. I think you need to calm down. I think you need to reflect. Like, for real. I think you need to fall back and just reflect on life, whatever you got going on. Because you sitting up there talking about, you sitting up there saying that, like, he's saying that he wishes that Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, he's saying that he wishes that all of these people were banned from the internet, not allowed to speak on the internet. And it's like, really? Who's the fascist now? Like, who's the fascist now? Like, you're literally up there promoting the idea of taking away someone's First Amendment right. But you're referring to other people as fascists. Like, he literally said he wants Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, like, he wants those people banned from the internet. I can't even find the clip. I thought I had the clip, but he went on this tirade, like, and look, while he was talking, he was doing that thing with his jaw. You know what they used to call that back in the day? They used to call it luncheon. Oh, here it is right here. Watch this.
Remember when people used to consider Destiny a more like reasonable liberal? Like he would do debates with Ben Shapiro, with Jordan Peterson. He was one of few liberal commentators who was willing to debate anyone, because most of them just refused to go head to head with someone. Well, I think he's definitely more unhinged now. Check out this video.
Conservatives have been disgusting for years, which is why I don't give a fuck about anybody that winds up at any of these rallies and gets shot or whatever the fuck, okay? Because they had no problem making fun of Paul Pelosi. The entire world would be better off if these people were permanently removed from these platforms. Like, there is no downside and only upside to see people like Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Tim Pool never be allowed to publicly broadcast their opinions ever again.
So there you have it.
He wants Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, and Tim Pool to be banned permanently from internet platforms. Did you see his jaw? That boy is lunching. Miko said his top and bottom teeth are like two double magnets. That boy is lunching, tweaking, whatever you want to call it. Jaw just going like, in fact, I'll mute it. Hold on, let me mute it so you can really get the full effect. Right? Watch when he starts talking. Look at that. And see, if you know anything about it, you know, see, here's the thing. When it comes to certain things, right, there are side effects, involuntary things that people do, right? What's this? Right? Or this. Or this. They don't know they're doing it. It's involuntary. It's like a force of habit. They don't know they're doing it. They don't know they're doing it. You said jabberjaw ass. Yeah. They don't know they're doing it. But he's up there talking about somebody being banned off of platforms or whatever. Lowly One said, Boy's Jaw is doing the James Brown. Yeah. But everybody, cats back in, back then, they're going to say, oh, Angryman, you got beat by Destiny in the debate. Well, first of all, Destiny didn't beat me in a debate because we didn't have no debate. We had a conversation where I schooled him to some things that he didn't understand. Shout out to Picasso, who said, go back and watch y'all debate. He's been gone. Really? That's really what happened. That's really what happened. Like we had a conversation, and I said, this is what I said. This is the gotcha moment where they think they got me at, right? I said, ever since you've had feminism, you have not had any new innovations created by men because men are too distracted with women, right? And so he's like, what about the internet? What about the cell phone? And somebody took that and clipped it up and said, oh, Angryman got beat. He don't know what he talking about. First of all, what I'm talking about is, in this day and age, the closest thing you have to an Albert Einstein or a Nikola Tesla is Elon Musk. That's the closest thing you got. That's the closest thing you got. When I said an invention that men made that changed the course of history, I'm talking about the steam engine, the printing press, the cotton gin. In other words, something that once it was invented, the world is never the same afterwards. Okay? I'm talking about the moment it's invented, right after that, the world is just never the same. You can't put the internet in that category because the internet has been around for a long time. The internet has been something that has been a slow progression to get us where we're at right now. In fact, I would argue that the internet is not even that important of an invention without the invention of the smartphone. I'm going to say that again. The internet is not that important of an invention unless it's in conjunction with the invention of the smartphone and access to the smartphone. Because guess what? There were a lot of people that weren't even on the internet prior to 2015 because everybody didn't have a smartphone. It wasn't until everybody got a smartphone that you then start to see everybody on the internet. But I can promise you this, to all of you Destiny fans out there, I can promise you that dude will never debate me again or have a conversation with me. I guarantee you. And if you go back and look at me and his back and forth, I'm being polite. I'm being polite. I'm literally being polite. Because he said something that was so idiotic that I couldn't even believe it. I told him that there are black people in the projects that take advantage of welfare and assistance. And he, being the true liberal that he is, wants to pretend or act like he doesn't know that that goes on. I said, there's literally people in the projects driving foreign cars. You know what he said? ain't nobody in the project. There isn't anybody in the project that has a foreign car. Black people. Black people. Black people. He said in that discussion that nobody living in the projects has the ability to get a foreign car. And guess what? He made the same mistake with Candace Owens. Now, see, I'm gonna show you something. This is the reason why nobody gave me praise for my back and forth with Destiny. The only group of people that could give me praise for my back and forth with Destiny would be black people. Because black people know how black folks take advantage of welfare and assistance. The only problem is they don't want people to know that. Okay? So of course they're not going to give me praise for getting Destiny in a gotcha moment about something they don't want the public to know. You feel me? So when he gets into it with Candace Owens, right? She says she had to pay for college. And he was like, why would you have to, if you were low income, why would you have to pay for college? He genuinely believes that if you are in a family that has a low income, you don't have to pay for college. He believes this. He believes that you can get grants and FAFSA and that'll cover everything. I got news for you, Destiny. Coming from your privileged position, grants and the FAFSA are not going to cover everything when it comes to college. You'll get grants, you'll get the FAFSA, and you'll still have to take out a Sallie Mae loan. You might have to take out a couple of Sallie Mae loans, and you'll still have to come out of pocket, depending on what your tuition is. You, sir, don't know what you're talking about. That's why every time you debate somebody, you have to go on Wikipedia and the internet. I don't know if y'all have ever seen it. Before he debates somebody, he knows the topic that they're going to debate about, and he sits online live and researches the topic. Bruh, I didn't do no research to have my conversation with you. I don't have to do no research. And I tell you something else too, because I've said this numerous times. I said I vibrate at a higher frequency. Okay? I've said this numerous times. And I don't know if y'all know this or not. Go look at Destiny's debates before me. Then go look at his debates after me. After he had a conversation with me and then went on to debate other people, he got owned every single time. Yeah, and you know why he got owned every single time, to all you Destiny fans? Because y'all are a bunch of liars. The B-dubs wanted to say I lost because that's what you always do. You always try to take brothers and put them below other races of men just to be spiteful. The dudes try to say I lost because you just mad you didn't get the opportunity to debate him, right? And plus, you got some against me, so there's that, right? But that whole thing, that's God's way of saying, oh, okay, okay. So you think that this dude is this master, this debating legend? Okay, let me show you this. He went on. He got owned by Candace Owens. He got owned by Jordan Peterson. He's gotten owned by everybody that he's debated after we had that conversation. Ridiculously so. But anyway, I've been on here long enough running my mouth. Shout out to everybody that came through. I appreciate you guys for coming through, showing love. Shout out to the sponsors of the show. Big shout out to Various for being the 2 sponsors himself. I appreciate you, bro. Salute to everybody that came through and supported by hitting the like button. Everybody that hit the Cash App. I really appreciate it. Make sure you guys go check out my book, The Angryman Standard, on Amazon. All you have to do is type The Angryman Standard in the search bar on Amazon. It will come up. I really appreciate it. If you want to check out the merchandise, all you have to do is go to shop.BINONation.com. Again, that's shop.BINONation.com. But other than that, man, salute to everybody. I'll be back at you guys tomorrow. So be on the lookout for me. Holla at you later. Deuces.
Spartans! What is your profession?